again, my name is Shanae Nieves, Shy for short, and in this video we will look at helpful strategies and real-life scenarios that may support students with ASD, ADHD, and learning disorders in 4-H. If you haven't seen the first video that explains each diagnosis, I recommend watching it before continuing. The objectives of this video are to identify simple supports for students with ADHD, ASD, and learning disorders, and apply supportive strategies to common 4-H activities. Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, is an approach that helps create inclusive learning environments for students with a wide range of abilities and learning styles. It is a productive way of planning that helps reduce barriers to participation and make activities more accessible for all learners. In 4-H, this might look like using verbal and visual instructions to demonstrate an activity before students begin, or allow flexibility in how students complete a task. For example, in a cooking activity, you might provide a recipe checklist with pictures, model each step before starting, and allow students to work in ways that fit their strengths. With this in mind, I'm going to begin going over ASD, ADHD, and learning disorders. It's important to remember that UDL strategies support all students, but understanding individual challenges helps us provide more targeted support when needed. When supporting students with ADHD, there are several strategies that can help improve participation in activities. These include breaking directions into smaller steps, using visual schedules or checklists, incorporating hands-on learning, reducing distractions when possible, and providing reminders and positive reinforcement. Flexible seating or fidget toys can also help support focus and engagement. An occupational therapy podcast called Ideas at Play highlighted that students with ADHD often benefit from visual schedules, timers, structured routines, and individualized supports that improve organization, transition, and independence. And you can click on each episode if you're interested in this slide. This is a scenario, and we will look at the possible challenges and possible supports that we could provide. Maya is a 12-year-old participating in a 4-H animal science lesson about horses. When the club leader gives multiple care instructions, she becomes distracted, avoids starting the worksheet, and says the activity is too much. Later, she becomes more engaged when helping directly with the animals. In this situation, she may be experiencing difficulty in sustaining attention, task initiation, and executive functioning, especially when tasks involve multiple steps or directions. She may also feel overwhelmed by activities that require a lot of mental effort and organization. Support that could help is breaking directions into smaller steps, which supports working memory and executive functioning, providing both verbal and written step-by-step instructions to decrease mental effort. Visual checklists can support organization and task initiation, while demonstrating the task first can increase understanding and engagement. Having organized materials or a designated drop zone can help with organization, and offering movement breaks or hands-on opportunities can improve engagement and regulation. Research suggests that youth with ADHD may disengage when tasks feel overwhelming or require a lot of mental effort, especially when there are multiple directions or steps presented at once. However, they often participate successfully when activities are hands-on and structured. When supporting students with learning disorders, there are several strategies that can improve understanding and participation. These include reading directions out loud, using visual demonstrations, allowing extra processing time. It can also help to reduce large amounts of writing and use graphic organizers or checklists to support organization. Pairing verbal instruction or written directions can improve comprehension and allow alternative ways for students to respond, such as verbally, visually, or even typing can support engagement. Finally, kinesthetic and multisensory learning approaches are especially helpful, as many students benefit from learning through movement, hands-on activities, and multiple senses working together. Here is a mini scenario, and this scenario might look very familiar because it's from the previous video. Tommy's an 11-year-old boy, and he enjoys hands-on science projects. but he avoids reading out loud. He frequently mixes up letters, reads slowly, and becomes frustrated when asked to complete written directions independently. And the question was, what challenges might Tommy present during activities involving reading or following written instructions? And the possible challenges that we discussed included difficulty reading directions on his own, slower reading, or trouble decoding words, frustration or avoidance of tasks with a lot of reading, difficulty keeping up with written instruction and group activities, and possibly missing important information if directions are only provided in written form. Now, knowing these possible challenges, the follow-up question is, what simple support could help Tommy participate successfully in this situation? Some helpful supports include reading directions out loud, which reduces decoding demands and support comprehension, and using visuals or demonstrations to support multisensory learning. For example, instead of only providing a written instruction for a science activity, a volunteer could demonstrate each step while showing a picture or sample of the finished product. Highlighting key information can also reduce mental effort. This might include highlighting, bolding important words, circling key steps, or verbally emphasizing the most important directions. Also, allowing verbal responses can support participation where writing may be a barrier. Pairing writing with pictures or examples can also improve understanding. For instance, directions could include pictures of each step or a complete example of the science project. Incorporating hands-on or kinesthetic learning can increase engagement and understanding. In this scenario, Tommy could learn by physically measuring materials, building a model, sorting items, or completing each step of the science experiment, as it is demonstrated rather than relying only on written directions. Research shows that students with learning disorders often benefit from multisensory structured instructions, meaning they learn best when information is presented in more than one way. These strategies can also support executive functioning by making tasks easier to organize and follow and complete. When supporting students with ASD or Autism Spectrum Disorder, there are several strategies that can help create structure and reduce stress in activities. These include preparing students for transition ahead of time, using predictable routines and visual schedules, offering sensory support when needed. It can help to reduce overwhelming noise or environmental distractions, especially for students who are sensitive to sound. Providing clear, concrete, and step-by-step directions is important. Allow them to have extra time to process so students can understand and respond at their own pace. It is also important to respect safe self-regulating strategies, including stimming, which may include repetitive movements, sounds that help with focus or emotional regulation, as long as it is not harming. Many students with ASD may benefit from visual schedules to understand expectations throughout the day, along with tools that support emotional regulation and communication. Some students benefit from visual self-regulation tools like the 5-point scale or zones of regulation. These tools help students identify emotions, energy levels, stress, readiness to participate, and coping strategies. While often used with students with ASD or ADHD, these supports can benefit many students. There are free printable versions of the zones of regulation available online. If you're interested, you can ask your 4-H agent or Vanessa Sparrow to share information on the 5-point scale with you. Here's the last meeting scenario. Ava is a 10-year-old in a 4-H cooking activity. She does not speak during group discussion and does not respond to peers' questions. She follows directions best when they are demonstrated instead of only explained verbally. What challenges might Eva be experiencing, and what supports could we provide? Some challenges Ava may be experiencing includes difficulty with verbal communication in groups, challenges with social interaction, or needing extra processing time to understand and respond. She may also learn best through visual or modeled instructions. Helpful supports could include using a visual demonstration or checklist, providing step-by-step directions, allowing extra processing time, and offering nonverbal ways to participate, such as pointing, choosing ingredients, or holding materials. For students who are nonverbal or minimal verbal, Some helpful strategies may include doing a forced choice option instead of an open-ended question and using visual supports or pictures to respond to help them communicate and participate. An example of a forced choice option is instead of asking, "What ingredients will you like to add next?" you could ask, "Will you like to add the carrots or the tomatoes?" while pointing to or showing the ingredients. This reduces communication demands while still allowing Ava to make choices and participate. When supporting students, the words we use matter. Instead of saying, "Just calm down," "Stop fidgeting," or "Pay attention," try saying, "How can I help you?" "Would a break help?" And let's review the directions together. Small changes in language can help students feel supported. For those who would like a copy of this slide deck, please reach out to the 4-H office. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.